Hi, this video is showing off an iPad interface they're created for p-roc. So it's an app called TouchOSC. So I launched that. And this is now a representation of all the switches in my game. And so I don't know if you can focus on that. There's two kinds. There's these sort of colored squares. These are just momentary switches. Then there's these squares that have holes in the middle. These are like toggle switches, so you hit it on and off. So these are not lights, these are switches. So if I go ahead and start my game, let's wait for that to start up. I'm going to move the DMD window down here so we can kind of see it all together. And now I can hit buttons. So for example, if I hit the credits button, it'll insert a credit. And you know, you saw that do it a few more times, insert more credits. Now I want to show something that, see the trough, these are the trough switches down here, these are not full. So that's because when I started the game, I had it set to automatically have those switches in the closed position. And remember before, those are not showing balls in there. So this is like a two-way thing. This is only switches right now. I want to update it in the future for lamps and LEDs and stuff, but it's showing the current state of the switches, whether the switches are open or closed. So if I sort of move back here, I'll hit the start button and actually start the game. You see the game goes through everything. And so now it's starting, and the code's looping because it's trying to eject the ball from the trough into the catapult, but it's failing because my switch is still closed. So I'm gonna take my ball out of the trough and put it into the catapult, bloop, and there we go. So now the game's kind of in its loop. So I will you know, take it out of the catapult, which means we ejected the ball, and now the game is going. So I can hit these different targets here. And yeah, so we see the game kind of ongoing right now. So I can, you know, flip and do all my lane change stuff. So the game's going, and if I want to like drain a ball, so I just put the ball back in the trough because that's how it detects the drain, right? So blink, and then we see the ball goes through and it sort of calculates all that kind of stuff. So that's what you have. This app is called TouchOSC. There's a designer here. So this is, I'm using a Mac. There's a Windows and Linux versions of this. And with this designer, you can literally, you know, design these, like decide where you put the switches, and like, you know, make them bigger and smaller, and kind of change them around and stuff. And then every switch you have here, it's got this sort of OSC address. And so the way I wrote the software is you put a /SW and then slash, so for switch, and then the name of the switch, and as long as the name of the switch here matches your name in the pyprocgame, then it'll work. So you can design this yourself. You can actually have multiple tabs on here, so you can make, this is what I'm working on, sliders for RGB LEDs. And you can design this and kind of lay it out however you want. So you can put labels on here, you can you know, move the buttons around, you can do whatever. And then this thing syncs, so it I can't focus on that, but you can synchronize that with the iPad. This is all working over Wi-Fi, and it's using UDP. So it just establishes, this TouchOSC app establishes a UDP connection. You see here my game's kind of looping because the ball is trying to eject the ball to launch ball 2. So I'll do that, and I'll put the ball into my catapult, and there we go. So this is ready. This is working now. This is all ready for you to download and play with. Future editions is I'll make it so you can use this to drive coils for testing. I'll make it so you can adjust operator settings. You can adjust lamps. You can you know, I want to have it so you can test lamps, and also I want to add lamps to this, so you can add lamp objects in this little OSC editor. It's got you can create a little object called a LED, which is and then you just name that object to match your lamp in the game, and then this thing will update. So I don't have that code done yet, but it is there. So that's it. So by the way, this whole thing, I posted in the forum a while ago. I built this little keyboard overlay with all these stickers on as to what all my switches mean on the keyboard. That now goes in the trash. So yeah, OSC, Michael Ocean. Michael, the forum user mocean, is the guy who showed this to me. So thank you so much for the idea of TouchOSC, because this is pretty badass. So it just runs as a regular game mode. Test it out and let me know what you think.